Good morning and welcome to this final week of the semester of Horse with No Name podcast. I am Zach Freeman, joined as always by my co-host Tyler Greenlee. Finals week is next week. Tyler, what do you have left? Are you eligible for next semester?
So far, so good. Yep.
How many finals do you have?
I think 3. Yeah.
Okay. Good ones, bad ones?
They shouldn't be too bad. No.
Okay. Good.
Just gotta study for them, you know.
Just
All good.
And any papers?
I have 2 due tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Do you need any help? You want me to edit?
Hey, if you want to, go ahead.
I remember I had at Penn State, my junior year, they made me take Spanish. I had to take one more credit of Spanish or something. And there was probably, 40, 50 people in the class. And so we had to go take the final in some huge hall. I don't even remember. And I walked in and there was 800 people in the room. All of the Spanish classes had to take the same final. And I just remember thinking, how are they going to do all of this? Anyway, that's my finals week memory.
Spanish was never my forte.
Same.
I took 2 years in high school and then I got out of there.
Oh, I think they made us take more than that. I don't really remember. We'll bring it. So our guest today, I should do this better, but our guest today is my brother, Mike Freeman, and we had the same education. How many credits of Spanish did you take?
In high school?
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay.
Probably too many.
Oh, yeah, that's how it
I
works.
took it in college, though, too. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you had to or because you wanted to?
They had made us take, like, liberal arts. Made us take, like, a foreign language.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Figured I'd stick with that.
All right, that's our Spanish conversation for today.
I'm glad I know that about you. You know, it's vital information.
That I took Spanish in high school and college. Okay, great. So some quick recaps before we get to our weekly interview here again with my brother Mike Freeman, who's the director of athletic communications at Lebanon Valley College. The women's basketball team lost its 5th straight game last night. They lost to Guyette 89-67. Senior Courtney Goyak with 19 points and 19 rebounds. Caitlin Hickey had 23 points to lead the Chargers in scoring. Tough go here for LBC over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just some things that aren't firing on all the cylinders. Couple contributions needed from different parts of the team, and I think just consistency. Head coach Caitlin Vanderhoff's talked about it a lot in post-game interviews. Just needing to be a little bit more consistent and just trying to figure out some new players and things like that. So certainly a different view of the standings on the women's side of the NEAC as the Chargers are 0-3 and looking up at everyone else rather than looking down as they have for a lot of the last decade.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a little bit of a challenge for them to start the season for sure, but I think they just need to get into a rhythm, find out who that third scorer is going to be. I think once they do that, start playing transition defense a little better, they'll be good to go.
I think so too. And they have a couple games left here before Christmas break, and I think if they can at least play well, even if they don't get a win, but start to feel like we played a full 40 minutes or getting closer to that 40-minute mark. It's one of those things where sometimes Christmas break comes and you're like, oh no, let's keep playing. Like, why do we need to take a break? Like, I wish we could keep this going rather than maybe this is good that we're going to play 2 more games, hopefully play well, and just take a break and then come back and kind of recharge and things like that.
Right.
On the flip side of that, the men's basketball team won its 3rd straight game last night, beating Guyette 70-61 here at Horst Athletic Center. Jordan Shoebridge, the freshman, had 20 points, including 5 3-pointers in the first 7.5 minutes of the second half. 11 3-pointers for the team. Luke Beers played a tremendous game as well, an all-around game. His brother Isaac played well for the Chargers too. We had them on the podcast last week. Prior to that, they beat St. Elizabeth last Saturday and opened NEAC play with a win over Berks last Wednesday. Chargers are 3-0 in conference play. We talked to head coach Andrew Wingreen, Tyler, a couple weeks ago about what their record could look like at Christmas break, and he kind of gave us the coach diplomatic answer of, if we're 2-1 or, we'll just try to focus on. But 3-0 looking at the standings and kind of putting those 3 games under your belt so that you can come back after the Christmas break, and there's not as many people in the stands. Students are still coming back. I think they're in a good spot going forward, even though he's not overly thrilled with how the team is playing.
And if he's not thrilled by that, how the team's playing right now, it's just like think of how good they're going to be when he is happy about how they're playing. So,
exactly.
I mean, they're hitting Shoebridge and Beers last night. I mean, especially Luke. Isaac had some good shots too, but their 3-point shots last night were just. Especially Jordan, like the first, you said 7 minutes. That was ridiculous, hitting crazy shots. But
it's been great, and I think that I think that in years past we've looked at a key dunk maybe changing the momentum, or a 3-pointer here and there. But when Shoebridge gets going and Luke Beers gets going, I mean, you kind of just give it to them, and they can shoot from a lot of different places on the floor. And I think that's something going forward. Again, you're not going to be able to count on that every game. That's not how that works. But it's something that I think the Chargers can utilize going forward for sure. So now we've reached the point where we come to the interview section of the Horse and No Name podcast. And again, our guest today is the Director of Athletic Communications, my brother, Mike Freeman. He's at Lebanon Valley College in Annville, PA. Had a stop at Franklin and Marshall for a couple of years, and helped at McDaniel when he did his undergrad as well in the Sports Information Office. Also an NCAA Division III student athlete, a 4-year member of the baseball program at McDaniel. Mike, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Tyler does not care for the McDaniel baseball.
Whatever.
We try to play them every year, but we schedule it for like the last weekend of February or the first weekend of March, and like it's such a great time here in the Mid-Atlantic region for baseball on March 1st. Anyway, we're gonna try again this March 1st or 2nd or something, and we'll see if we can't play the Green Terror this year. So lots to unpack. Mike, what was your experience like as a Division III athlete? And since you were a Division III athlete and now you sort of represent them or provide coverage for them, how does that weigh on you on how you do your job?
Well, the experience was fun overall. Coming out of high school, there was a few other schools that were kind of looking at me, but I just figured, McDaniel was the best fit for me. I liked the coach, and I liked the guys who I met when I went on my tour, and I liked the baseball field, and the campus was very nice, and brand new buildings here and there, and rigorous academics, as they say. But yeah, overall, it was good. Thanks.
So using that as your experience, and it being a good one, and I remember when you went on those tours and you really had a good time down there at McDaniel, and especially the guys you met. How do you, and again, you don't have to talk about how you were covered, again, I'm sure well, down there, but how do you use that experience for your job now, where you're providing coverage for lots of student athletes at LVC?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I can kind of think back to how we did things and how everything worked and stuff like that. You want to switch them? Sorry. Yeah. Put that one out of the way. Yeah. Anyway, I could kind of think back and kind of how we did things at McDaniel, and I was just a student worker there, and kind of doing random office work here and there, game programs, archiving stats, records and history, things like that. And then, graduating, then starting to work at Franklin and Marshall, you kind of ease into the real life SID work, doing the in-game stats, highlight videos, everything like that. And then, you keep moving up, and you kind of keep, every year you want to try to keep improving and, gaining more followers and having more people look at your stuff and, give you compliments and things like that. And it's always good to have that, I think. And, it's trying to keep the community engaged the best way you can.
I agree completely with that. That's great, and I think that's something that we're all striving for here in the business. Just trying, whether or not I'm not overly concerned with some of the followers and things like that, but just trying to do good work and represent our student athletes and provide people with the best coverage possible, especially those who can't make the games. I know you guys have a lot of people who aren't from the area who come to LVC, and I think it's important that people who can't make the game can see coverage of the game. One of the things that I know that you do very well, and LVC does very well, especially from your predecessor, Tom, is the video and live video coverage of all of your sports. Talk a little bit about that and what goes into that for you guys up there at LVC.
Yeah, sure. So before I got there, they weren't really streaming many outside events. So, the baseball, softball, the soccers weren't streamed, and then we kind of just decided, we have the student workers, we have the coverage, let's try to do this to try to, expand. And, we just having the internet, because our soccer field is on the other side of 934.
Right. So
having the internet out there was key. And we kind of got our own, IT came over and gave us our own Wi-Fi username and password, so that it wasn't just the LVC one. It was getting clogged up. So we were able to do that, stream soccer, and the baseball field's over there as well. So we just use that same thing. And the softball field is on the other side, but we managed to set up a camera kind of behind home plate and, kind of an aerial shot. And same with baseball. So it's worked out pretty well. It doesn't take a whole lot of student workers to help out. You need somebody to do the score bot, and you don't really need to move the camera for baseball or softball, but you do for soccer. But we've managed to kind of plan that out well and, expand the coverage.
So you talk a little bit about student workers, and I've been blessed here to have a ton of good ones. I know that you have some good ones as well. I've gotten a chance to work up there a couple times with you at different events. Because you guys have so many sports, talk about how you manage your student workers and just the relationship you have there with them. You kind of have to be firm with what you're trying to do, because obviously we're professionals and we're trying to teach them to be professionals, and but at the same time they're students and 18 years old, or whatever it is, and sometimes life gets in the way, or perceived life gets in the way, and talk a little bit about how you manage all those student workers for all those sports that you guys have.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. Usually 90% of the time we have a Google Doc where I type in all the home games and stuff there is to do, camera, stats, things like that, and they usually type their names in and they show up. Usually it's as easy as that, but sometimes it's not. It happened last night. Somebody had a paper due at midnight and a project due tomorrow, and they decided they couldn't come, but luckily we had extra coverage with one of my student interns, and then my athletic communications intern were both there, and they could handle the camera and the scoreboard for basketball. So it happens, but they are students, and they have to go to class and do their work, and so
you're not
most of the time, at least.
You're not the only one, then. That's what he's trying to say to you.
I know. I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that. So we'll get Tyler a microphone that works here in a second, so he can provide some good insight on what it's like to be a student. Comedy of the show, sure. Comedy. So, Mike, for those who don't know, I'm sure lots listening do, sometimes this is an awfully close to a 24/7 job. Between writing, stats, video, social media, photos, fill in the blank, something broke. What would you say is your favorite part of the job, and then maybe your least favorite part?
Boy, that's tough. You're right. It can be a 24/7 job, and we're kind of, I always bring my computer everywhere I go.
Right.
Just in case, something happens on the website, I need to go into the back end and change it. But I think my favorite part would just be being around sports and getting to, kind of watch sports for a living and kind of interact with the student athletes and the coaches and the faculty. I think it's really fun. I kind of like interacting with people and, giving them my take on things. And I like the writing aspect too. I like that we've kind of developed different things to write about besides game recaps, student athlete advisory committee stories, feature stories on some student athletes who are doing awesome things out in the community. And then my least favorite part, I don't know where do I start? No, I'm just kidding.
Pick the day.
But no, of course, like you said, there's some long hours here and there, and that can get in the way of some things. So that's probably like one of the worst parts. It's not, we deal with it. It's part of the job.
Sure.
But, that's one of the parts where it's like, okay, you need to kind of plan stuff out ahead of time if you want to, do stuff with family.
And so what do you do, let's say, on your downtime, that when you're not, you do have a little bit of break, what do you do to unwind? Because I think it's something I've learned over the past couple of years, and now being in my 10th year of doing this, of, when you have that downtime, what is it that you can get away from and put your computer away and kind of just relax? What do you like to do?
Yeah, go to sporting events, or, if I'm at work and I want to take a break, I usually go to the gym or maybe go for a swim.
Oh.
I know.
When did that start?
Sometimes. Well, when I had my ACL surgery.
Oh, right.
They told me to throw the jogging suit on and sprint in the water. It was
nice.
awesome.
Oh.
It was awesome.
The things you learn.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure.
So you just throw the jogging suit around your waist, and then you just go in the deep end and you float, but you can jog back and forth. It was awesome.
I see you once a week.
I
What?
know.
This wasn't going to come up?
No.
Okay.
But
Great.
I haven't done it in a while.
Okay.
It's fine now. But yeah, unwinding is anything except work. But when we go You know, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I go to like a baseball game or if I go to somewhere else, I'm saying stat crew codes in my head. Does that happen to you?
Well, I just think it's funny that the first thing you mentioned of when I say, what do you do for your downtime? I go watch sports.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, I remember this fall I had a weekend off, and we went to a Division III field hockey game and a Division I football game. That was my weekend off. Like, other than the computer being right in front of me, it was exactly what I would have been doing.
Visitor save.
I know, that's exactly right. I'm like, oh, I have a day off. Oh, I think there's a high school basketball game tonight. You guys want to go? Yeah, sure. I think it's funny that and that's a lot of my other friends that we have that are sports information directors or work in communications. I think they would say the same thing. That I like to watch sports.
Yeah,
and we have a couple of friends who have season tickets places, or they go to different places with their kids and watch sports. And I was doing it a couple of times with my son's soccer this fall. I was like, oh, that's a save. That's not a save. What's going on here? Like
defensive save and field hockey. Yeah,
I know.
Shot Jack home.
Shot Jack. That's right. That's right.
I'm off today, but I'm going to do the stats of PIAA football championships.
That's right. I was going to bring that up. That's all. I think that's an awesome opportunity that you guys have at LVC, and I think do some of your student workers go too, or you have some help that go there?
For the basketball, yes,
okay,
but not for the football.
I just think it's a great opportunity for everyone to kind of see how the game there's game management, and then there's like PIAA championship game management, especially football, especially Hershey Park Stadium. Like, that's just a bigger deal than, no offense, LVC or even LBC, where it's like, okay, this is the gym and there's going to be basketball and 400 people and thanks. Like, PIAA football is, here's thousands of people that are coming from all sides of the state to watch this one thing. I just think it's a cool opportunity for everyone there.
Yeah, I sent you that picture, I think it was 2 years ago when Reading was in the 6A championship for basketball. The place there was...
Right, they're turning people away.
Seats.
Yeah, that's right.
They were out there at 6 a.m. tailgating. The game was at 8 p.m.
That's awesome.
So
I'm glad they won then.
Lonnie Walker.
I know. Tremendous player. So for those who don't know, our dad was a sports writer, and same type of thing where we grew up going to sporting events with him and watching him work and different things that way. And I would say that's certainly where my passion for writing and wanting to work in sports began. You didn't major in sports management or communications at McDaniel. What drew you to the profession, and what do you need to still learn, or what are you still learning or hope to learn in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I was an exercise science major at McDaniel, so it wasn't
anything's possible, kids.
Yeah, they didn't really have.
Good to see you're using a degree there.
They have communications, but I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do at that point. But my sophomore year, I started working in the sports information department, and then I kind of knew that was something that was cool and that I think I wanted to do. And so, yeah, we're always trying. What did you say? Always trying to improve. Right?
Yeah, just different things you want to learn. I think there's always new things around the corner, and I think some people are way more plugged in than at least me. I don't know about you, about what's coming down the pike in this profession and things like that. I think I'm trying to see that, but probably more reactionary to what's happening than maybe I want to be sometimes. But what are some things that you either see that there needs to be improvement or just want to improve on?
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement, especially at in college athletics. There's always something new that's coming out, like Genius Sports.
Right.
There's always new stat programs that are coming out, and there's always I have a list on a whiteboard in my office of things that my intern and I are trying to make happen, whether it's on the live video feed, running replays, or putting intro graphs up, which we did last night. Starting lineup graphics so everybody can see. Just kind of bumping it up to that next level without breaking the bank. We can't just go around buying $10,000 TriCasters. At least two of them.
I try to convince Freeman to do that, but
we have one.
I shouldn't say
Tyler thinks I have a money tree.
I can't say Freeman anymore though. I have to say Zach.
Sorry. What's that like?
It's a little different.
I think I was able to get into the Coast-Ida convention down there in DC last summer, and it was a great experience all around. But I think just seeing that there are so many levels of where people are, from full replays, and this might as well be ESPN, to one-man shop, and we're trying live video for the first time. Like, I just thought it was awesome to see all those levels, and that we're still all, like, I don't mean to be sappy or cliche, but we're all in this together. I don't know. It's just but like we talked about, and Tyler's getting a glimpse of it here. Like, nobody knows what it's like to walk out of the gym when it's dark at midnight. Or at least very few people do, because you had to rewrite a story because something wouldn't upload, or the back end of the website has decided not to work today. Thank you.
Presto.
I wasn't going to mention names. But I think that's something that you learn on this job that makes you feel comfortable around others. And, you know, there's message boards and things like that. And it's a funny read some mornings to go on there and look at those. But at the same time, you know, I think it's awesome that we're all connected that way and just trying to bring everybody to a place where everyone is improving and providing, again, the best coverage possible for our student athletes. When I'm writing or we're doing video or we're trying something new, it's to help provide better coverage for our student athletes and give their parents, family, friends a chance to see them. It's a major recruiting tool for us to tell someone from Colorado or Maine or Florida, hey, at least when we're at home, you can see your son or daughter play. That's a big thing for us, and our coaches have said so. So I think that's something that we should all strive to provide. And I think it's funny when parents are like, "Oh, there's no live video tonight." It's like, well, easy. Like it's not as simple as it looks. I know. I'm happy that we make it look easy for you, but just know that there's like 1,000 things that have to work. I feel like we're going to talk about our top 5 Christmas movies here. I feel like Chevy Chase sometimes trying to plug in these lights. Like, sorry,
that's a great throw-in right there.
Thank you.
I like that.
We'll get back to that movie in a few minutes, but
for sure.
I just think that like nobody knows about all these wires that connect, and all. We're just doing it here with the microphones. Like, hold on a second. I know. Like yesterday when I tried this, it worked. It doesn't this morning. Be right back.
Yes.
So
yeah, we even had that big like power outlet thing that he has in his garage with all the plugs going into it.
Yeah,
that's what we have up in our office.
A fire hazard, and there's the exact same thing is happening under that desk right there. I'm looking at it. So at least when the building burns down, we'll at least know where to look and probably be able to make a good quick on the investigation.
They won't blame it on me.
That's right. So just continuing to talk, Mike, I think, is this your 5th year working? I know not at LVC, but altogether? 6th. So what has changed for you? I know you've worked lots of different things. You mainly did some video at F&M and some other things too, but and now an assistant for 2 years and now the head SID at LVC. What are some things that have changed for you work-wise, life-wise, and how you approach the job every day?
Well, yeah, I think a lot has changed. You know, obviously when Tom, the former director of athletic communications, kind of up and left at the worst time possible. He left like
love you, Tom.
Yeah, love you, Tom. He left about the very beginning of October, and homecoming was the 13th, and we have soccer and football and field hockey all at home, along with the Hall of Fame dinner the night before and the Hall of Fame golf outing. Which I had to do all that for.
Sorry,
so, yeah,
it's terrible. Yeah, I'm not laughing.
Yeah. So that was a long week, but I just tried my best to stay out ahead of everything, and hiccups happen, but stuff comes up that you don't think is going to happen, but you just kind of roll with it and do the best you can. We got through it, and I heard a lot of compliments, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I think. There's a lot that has changed from when I was at F&M to now, especially my roles, obviously. I was the 3rd in command at F&M, just doing the game programs, some videos. I had 6 sports I was in charge of, and now all of a sudden I'm here, and it's me and an intern for 29 hours a week, and we have 26 sports. So, it's definitely changed, but I'm not complaining. It's been really fun. You just kind of, try to plan out stuff ahead of time as best you can. And, when something doesn't work, it's like, oh no, it happened to us last week. We have the TriCaster Mini, and I set everything up for basketball, and it wouldn't turn on. So I'm like, oh no. So the power adapter broke, so I ordered a new one. And it wouldn't come for a few days, so I had to use the backup plan. What I could do for hockey, use a production truck. So I had to go get that out of my car and set everything up just in time for basketball. So
good job.
Yeah, and it's always something. I kind of say that like almost every day. There's always something that happens, but got to roll with it.
That's exactly right. We were sitting down waiting for basketball last night, and there's 6 minutes on the clock, and I think we were all set up. And it was weird. Like, I watched them warm up.
Something's going to go wrong.
Well, I just assumed that we had forgotten something or something was wrong.
I have stuff set up before 30 minutes to go, I always know something's going to happen wrong.
I know. I was like, oh, this is what they do for warm-ups. This is great. Look at them go. And I'd never watched before.
You can actually, listen to the music to hear what's actually playing and oh, yeah, I know that song.
Oh, yeah. We have a music person that I gave that job to.
Oh, nice.
Delegation's been nice in regards to music.
At Cole.
Cole
Yeah.
at Colehorst. No, he's great. He did some Christmas stuff last night. It was good.
How are the ugly sweaters, by the way?
Ugly.
There were some good ones for sure.
Yeah, and
Had the old. Did you see the LSU one? That was pretty dope.
oh no, I didn't.
Aaron Kopstead.
Oh, nice.
With the LSU
I
ugly
saw that,
sweater.
and CJ had he was a polar bear.
Yeah, that was funny.
Nice.
Good stuff.
It was a onesie. It was an adult onesie
that's
polar
awesome.
bear. It was pretty cool.
I was hoping Keanu would bring back that gorilla costume though.
Is that who that
That's
was?
who it is.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Oh
Okay.
man, I just like
Uh-oh.
let out the secret
Trouble.
identity now.
Trouble.
Dang.
Well, just edit it out.
That's right.
Switch it out.
Yeah. All right. So, anything, Tyler? Anything from you? I don't want to. We don't have to
Yeah.
delve into.
Okay. I got some childhood questions, I guess. Since
All
you
right,
said
real-
you,
Oh, boy.
didn't,
real-
want to go there last night.
We have a few
we're gonna
minutes.
go
You're the
there.
one who has to go to class. So,
It's not till 10.
oh, nice.
What time is it now?
I don't know. 9:40.
9:40. I got time.
Okay. Now.
All right.
Do a little deep dive
Yeah,
here.
there we go. So, what was your guys' favorite cereal growing up? Kid cereal? Because I know you said cereals before, and you said some like gross adult ones.
Crackling Oat Bran.
Oh, I
You
love
wanna-
it.
See, I told you.
Exactly, gross adult bread. No. So, like, what was your favorite like cereal to grow up?
I like
eating?
Kix.
Like Saturday
Ooh.
morning.
The little cliche there.
Yeah.
I like Rice Krispies and Kix.
Yeah, you were a big Rice Krispies guy.
I do like Rice Krispies.
Reese's Puffs.
Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
I like Reese's Puffs too. It's good stuff. How about
That's a kid and adult cereal.
how about your favorite cartoons? Saturday morning.
What age we talking?
Ooh.
Like last week,
Let's
or
see. 10.
That's probably Power Rangers, right?
I guess so.
How far apart are you in age?
4.5 years.
4.5 years. Okay.
I'm
Who's
older.
You're older.
Yeah.
Even though I don't look it. Anyway,
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, I would have said you're twins, so it's
That's what everybody
um,
says.
uh,
Somebody at Do asked me yesterday
oh,
if we were twins.
I'm only there on Fridays.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess Ninja Turtles.
yeah.
Or I get Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
There's the only two I really remember.
Hey Arnold. Wild Thornberries.
I was
Rocket
like-
Power.
I was like 16 when those were out, so I was out pretty quick on
Yeah, I
those.
feel
But I like Ninja Turtles, and yeah, Power Rangers.
you
Mom
name
got into Power Rangers.
Can you name the Ninja Turtles?
Oh yeah, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Don't
Alright.
do that. Don't do
Alright,
that.
Just making
4
sure.
for 4. That's a good job.
Yeah, please.
What's the rat's name?
Splinter,
Yeah, you go.
Master
All right,
Splinter.
he's a true fan.
Master Splinter, and Shredder,
Shredder.
and Rocksteady and Bebop. Okay, between the Spanish conversation and Ninja Turtles, we've hit all the cylinders here.
All right, yeah.
Anything
I'm
else?
good to go.
Okay, good.
I'm good with my in-depth analysis. So.
That was good for you?
Yeah,
Good.
we're
Okay. Do you want to introduce the top 5 topic?
So, since it's the Christmas season coming up soon, we decided that we're going to do the top 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time,
Of all time.
or of our all time.
Got it. Would you want to go first?
I can go first. Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. So I have 5 pretty much classics on here, so they're probably going to hear them again, but that's okay. We're going to start with number 5, Die Hard.
Oh, jeez.
That is a Christmas movie.
You're gonna have to get your
I
class
100%
scheduled at 10 o'clock
agree
if we're gonna
with
go
you.
into this.
Yeah, it's definitely a Christmas movie. When it comes out at Christmas time, it's set in Christmas time.
It
It's a
just
Christmas-
puts you in
it's
the
a Christmas
holiday
movie.
spirit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Bruce Willis. Yeah.
it's a happy ending. So, yeah.
Hans.
All right.
Number 4, I'm gonna go with the Santa Claus 1.
Oh, nice. Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's a classic. I'm a big Tim Allen guy. I like him. He's funny.
I like Tim Allen too. That movie's funny. It was on the other day,
Yeah.
and my sons were laughing, but I was laughing harder. At
Yeah,
some of the jokes.
it's funny. Like, it's funny. Like, I love those movies. Like, I think Disney does a good job at that. Of like,
yes,
making like,
providing some parent jokes
like,
in
older
the, yes,
comedy
agreed.
too. Yeah. Okay, number 3, I'm gonna go with Elf.
Mm.
I like Will Ferrell. He's pretty funny. So
Hot take.
that's just a
He's very funny.
that's just a can't miss on that one. Number 2, Home Alone.
Mm.
Number 1.
The
I
first
also
one.
like number 2, Lost in New York.
We're gonna get to that in a
But-
second. Hold on.
Number 1, that's kind of just like the original. Set the whole series off. Kevin's a savage. Yeah, that's a good one. And then number 1, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We're all gonna have the same number 1, but yes,
And,
go on.
False.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay. I'm excited now.
hot seat. No.
Yeah.
No. National Lampoon's. I mean, you just can't get better than that. Like Clark Griswold. We quote that, like, my family around Christmas time. We quote that movie like like I don't even, like, every day, like at least like five times. And cousin Eddie, just everything about it. I love it. It's hilarious. So yeah, it's my top 5.
Nice. Well, I'll go next since I have the same number 1. I'll go, so I'll save
go
yours
ahead.
number. So I have a Christmas Story as number 5. but I like the Santa Claus too. I wish I would have. I forgot about the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is funnier.
I don't know. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about seeing A Christmas Story. We used to watch that on Christmas Eve at the house. It was on for 24 hours. I think TNT
Still
does
is.
that.
TBS too.
And TBS, very good. So it's still fun. There's still some good one-liners in that. I like that one. I have the Peanuts movie, Charlie Brown Christmas #4.
Okay.
I like that, and I like our family likes that as well.
You're a Peanuts guy.
I am.
Yeah. Got those flash drives.
I do. I like this. That's right. I haven't got a new one in a while. I have Home Alone, but since you said 1, I'll say 2.
Okay.
I know #1 is the original, and I like that one too. When Marv comes in the window and steps on those ornaments, that's about the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's just such an idiot.
Is it the first
I think it's the first one where he steps on the ornaments because the second one's in New York.
Christmas tree, the
Right.
No,
Oh
but
my-
is it the
it's
first or second one when he gets shocked by the in the basement?
That's the second one.
the second
When
one?
or
I can't
yeah,
remember.
I forget now. Regardless,
Both of them are so
Marv
good,
makes
yeah.
it for me. I think he's hysterical.
He's
and
funny.
I think that's pretty good. The second one's I like the second one because it's in New York and they do some cool stuff. Elf is #2. Again, my kids think that's hysterical, and then there's some parts for me too that are funny in there. And then I have National Lampoons. We quote that too. Our dad doesn't really like swearing, but even that one a couple times, he'll let us get away with that because it's so funny. And some of the things that Eddie says, and when he's emptying out the thing at the front of the house, and
It's just a Christmas classic.
it's just terrific. So
Morning.
anyway, it just says great. So all right, Mike, do your
Okay.
top 5.
Yeah, let me pull out my list.
Oh.
Got it. Okay, so #5, I went with The Christmas Story, just for the, it's kind of like tradition. It's always on Christmas. What is it, 8 p.m. to
8 to 8, yeah.
8 p.m. The next day. But like you said, there's a lot of good one-liners in there. And then #4 is Elf. Back in 2003 it came out.
Yes,
I think.
I think so.
And,
Really, 2003.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I was 13, I guess. So that was kind of like the peak of,
jeez.
It was like the right Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. #3 is Home Alone. I think I'm going to go 1 with the traditional way. I do like 2. That is definitely in my top 10. But yeah, just, it's one of those movies that I'm always going to watch if it's on. #2. Ready for this? A Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot about that.
Yes. So for
Oh,
some
Rizzo.
reason, Rizzo. For some reason, that's another one of those movies. If it's on, I think it's on Netflix now too. So I'm like watching it all day at work, and it's just hilarious, even for like the adults, And Michael Caine is Scrooge, probably before he was Sir Michael Caine, I'm guessing.
Nice.
#1, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey version.
So you like that way more
It
than
is awesome.
you
Okay.
and our younger sister like that
Yes.
one a lot more than the rest
Another
of us.
movie.
Yeah.
If it's on, if I wake up at 2 a.m. and it's on, I can't. I'm
up.
watching the whole thing. I remember when we were at a hockey tournament for you. This came out in 2000. We were at a hockey tournament in Toronto, and there was a big lull in between games.
Surprise.
And we went to the Canadian movie theater, and we were waiting in line. It was the whole family.
Oh, I don't remember this
we
at
were
all.
we were
Keep
waiting
going.
in line to see the Grinch at 2:30, and the lady yelled out, "2:30 Grinch sold out."
Oh, I
And
remember. Now this is ringing a bell.
Oh man, I was 10.
Because we were in
Right?
we were in
So-
a foreign country and we're
Yeah,
already mad.
I was so mad. So I don't even remember what happened the rest of the day. It was awful. But yeah, that's my.
I never got into the Grinch too much. That was I watch it, but it's
My
never
kids like the
fun.
cartoon one because they
Yeah.
can only sit still for half an hour, so it's right their speed. Huh. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
Wow.
good
Bad
stuff.
memories with that movie, I guess.
Bad. Nice. All right. Well, real quick here before we wrap up, some things for this weekend. The women's basketball team will host York on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The men will then host Centenary at 3 o'clock. The women's basketball team is here on Wednesday night. They'll take on Hood. And the men will wrap up their first semester on Thursday night as they host Dickinson at 7 o'clock. And then next Saturday, the first semester completely done as the women's basketball team will host Staten Island on the 15th here at Horst Athletic Center. So still a couple games left here for each team, non-conference contests as we wrap up the first semester. So plenty of time to still come to Horst Athletic Center and see some basketball and have our little student worker Christmas party
Oh yeah.
next week too. So that'll be
Can I
fun.
come to that?
Sure.
Sweet.
After the Dickinson
Especially
game.
since we didn't do the Thanksgiving one that we talked about.
I
today.
know we talked about that one. It didn't happen. So
Yeah.
we'll have one more podcast next week as we try to manage finals week. Much more the students than myself. Finals week is just fine for me. But I want to thank my brother Mike here for coming on the podcast today. I think we covered everything that we needed to cover. So thanks for coming on, and good luck the rest of the semester.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate
No problem at all. And Tyler, as always, thanks for the help. And we'll see you this weekend for some basketball. This has been Zach Freeman and Tyler Greenlee. Go Chargers, go.